Hi everyone, and welcome to your weekly angel reading for November the 10th through to the 17th. I'm going to be using my favourite deck this week, the Angel Tarot cards by my friend Radleigh Valentine and the beautiful Doreen Virtue. So let's see what they have to say for us for Monday and Tuesday first of all. Alright, so here's the card for Monday and Tuesday. Release, Archangel Azrael, the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, and time to move on. Now, Archangel Azrael is probably known as one of the most graceful angels in the entire archangel realm. He is such a help if you are wanting some comfort in your life, and also, of course, as the card suggests, if you are ready to let go of perhaps some painful emotions, or if there's something that isn't serving you that you need some support with. Of course, there is the ebb and flow of life always, which means that when we're getting ready to really transform, as this card says, that often it's very necessary to let go of some old things in order to make way for the new. Archangel Azrael is saying that he is particularly with those of you who are experiencing grief right now. That could be grief because you have had to say goodbye to a loved one recently, or perhaps it's some old grief that you're dealing with, or perhaps it's just grief because you are having to make big changes in your life. The angels want to comfort you the next couple of days, particularly. Azrael is an amazing angel, and often his meaning is misconstrued because he is often seen, particularly if you look on the internet, as the angel of death. And in fact, this card in the traditional tarot is the death card. And that can often freak people out because they may feel like something traumatic is going to happen. And actually, it doesn't have to mean that at all. That's exactly why they changed the name of the card to release, because often it's so much a part of us releasing something in ourselves that no longer needs to be there. And actually, we can actually feel like we're going through a death if that's happening. If you ever felt sadness and not quite sure why, or you feel like your heart is really breaking, well, that's often a sign that the angels want to help us to open up to even more love. So if you are feeling some heartbreak the next couple of days, or you've just been feeling it generally, let your heart open. Don't let it close you down. So often we feel like it can be too overwhelming and we shut off our feelings, or we feel if we're going to cry that it won't stop. And just know that the angels are supporting you through it, are loving you through it. I like to imagine that the angels are wrapping us all up in their loving wings, and it looks like they're particularly wanting to give us that message for the next couple of days, okay? Alright, so here we go. Wowee. Alright, so this is another card. Archangel Haniel this time is another major arcana card, and it's the moon, which is the same as the traditional tarot. And this message says important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, and release fears that hold you back. So once again, Haniel is also with us as we release any fears and old pain in the middle of the week. Often when we're going through that, of course, it can bring up a lot of emotions, and we can let our head and our hearts kind of feel like they're spinning out of control. And yet sometimes when we're in that really raw, vulnerable state and are allowing ourselves to feel what we feel, actually it can be an incredibly intuitive time also. So yes, it's really important just to let your feelings flow and not have to, pay attention to always to what they mean. There doesn't have to be a meaning behind every feeling. And yet sometimes when we're in that really open-hearted space and we're, our feelings are all on the surface, it can actually be an incredible time of receiving insights. And if you're not sure what those are, or you'd like to feel more in tune with that part of yourself rather than your fear, ask Haniel to help you. She is a beautiful moon goddess angel, and often one I bring up when it's going to be full moon. We've already just had the full moon, but it looks like it's still time for us to pay attention to the intuitive part of us that's connected to the divine wisdom and love of God and the angels always. If you can see, it's also, she's very connected to nature, and there's a beautiful dog in the picture. So if you're finding yourself overwhelmed by your emotions, or you're wanting some clarity this week, do get outside in nature, because that will always help you to breathe and feel all the possibility around you, rather than feeling trapped by any of the pain that you're experiencing. That's not to go into fear about the pain, but if it's there, you may as well acknowledge it and let it flow. Let it come out of you, because it's always better out than in, isn't it? Okay, so here we go into the end of the week. 9 of fire, this shakes the energy up a little bit, but the interesting thing is it carries on with the same theme. I'm feeling that there's going to be lots of emotion flying about for us, but the angels here say don't give up, protect that which you've created, have courage and believe in yourself. So this is a sign, yes, okay, it may be a little intense for you, you may feel that there is some overwhelm going on, but don't let that stop you. Let it propel you forward. Let it show you how amazing you are and how courageous you are, how far you've come, rather than letting it kind of shrivel you up. We have choices in the world, don't we? And sometimes we can let ourselves be defined by our pain and what happened to us, and other ways we can kind of go, okay, that happened, but I'm not going to let it stop me doing anything. That actually I'm not my story. I'm all the kinds of experiences that I've been through, but I'm so much more than that, and I am an amazing person, no matter whether we're feeling particularly strong. Actually, the angels are saying that there is incredible strength in vulnerability, that they are so they're so supportive of us when we're feeling emotional, and they actually really celebrate it, because they see it all as an opportunity for us to connect more deeply with our truth and our hearts, and that is always a beautiful thing. To me, there is nothing more sacred than being part of somebody's journey to opening up to the truth for themselves, to seeing their tears transform into something magical and miraculous, which is usually about them really owning their own journeys, owning their own strength, and you can do that too. So be gentle with yourself this week. Allow yourself to feel what you feel, but also continue to move forward. Allow your expression to come through in your tears. Allow whatever it is that you need to let go of to be expressed creatively. Perhaps this is a beautiful time for creativity. The angels are saying that if you have already been creative and you're already working on something, please take the steps to actually do what you need to honor perhaps your copyright or some legal advice or something that's going on, because yes, it's not the reason why we create it to share, but it is important to honor our journeys and the work that we do, particularly for us creative types. Sometimes we can forget that. So part of believing in yourself and part of honoring who you are and all of the gifts that you have is to sometimes take those practical steps that would allow you to feel secure in what you've done and what you've achieved, so that you can actually receive for all of your hard work. Alright, so I'm sending you lots of love. The angels are sending you lots of love. It does feel like an emotional week this week, but if you can just ride the wave, if we can all ride that wave, actually it feels like a really wonderful opportunity for us to get in touch with an even deeper part of ourselves, an even deeper part of who we are, so that we can actually say yes to the new things rather than keeping stuck in our old patterns perhaps. Alright, I'm sending you many, many blessings. Take care. And if you need me, I'm on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Anna Taylor Music Angel. I always post daily there. Or, of course, on my website, you can contact me, anna-taylor.co.uk. Much love.